Another blood-red sunset and yet another moon face, and still another 100 miles to my next resting place. Driving down the road, eyes on the horizon. Within my car, I'm all alone, but feeling good and feeling strong, knowing that this path I'm on brings me to myself. I'm driving.
Hello and welcome to Spirit Sherpa, the show that helps and encourages you on your journey to unlock your magic mojo. I'm Jules, your co-host. Now, if you're a beginner to this type of work, go ahead and start at episode 1. If you're more of an intermediate, you can start with episode 98. And if you're a full-blown advanced student, well, go ahead and start with episode 200. With me, as always, to share her insights and her wisdom is the spirit doctor herself, Kelle Sparta. Hello, Kelle. How's your day going?
Hey, Jules. It's going pretty well, actually. How is yours?
Oh, well, I'm down to only needing 3 of me. So this is a good day as opposed to needing 10 of me. I only need 3 of me, so I'm doing good.
I hear you.
So,
I do. Yes.
But it is hot. It's hot. It's ridiculously hot. So I have
because you live in the oven.
Yeah. So I have a funny for you. Yesterday, a huge storm system came through. Can't even make this up. It's like, okay, here's a little dot of where we are. It went around where we are, bringing rain to everybody else. We had a fabulous lightning show, but no rain. So I still had to water my plants, and I'm looking at my plants going, I'm sorry. The rain dudes just didn't want to come hang out. They had no rain for us everywhere around, but not here. So I was out there watering my plants, and it just went right around. And I'm like, guys, can you give me a little rain? They're like, nope.
Not today.
Not today. No rain for you.
No rain for you.
Exactly.
There we go. Nothing like sharing a
fails.
brain, babe.
Hey.
That's it. So. But I hear you got your package from Romy Apothecary.
I did. It was so cute. It was so cute.
You got to tell me all about it because mine hasn't arrived yet. This is the wonder of living in Panama is that, it gets shipped to the place that collects it, and then it goes on the boat once a week, and then the boat takes a week, and then they take a few days to figure out whose stuff is where. And so I won't see it for another week and a half.
Okay. Well, let me tell you about this little package. So cute. So, okay, you know how you normally get like the UPS boxes to ship stuff in, right? That's what I was expecting. Yeah, not so much. The box has the Romy Apothecary logo on it. It's like her own shipping box. Okay, how cool is this? All right. And so when you open it, it has all about her company. And then everything is individually wrapped, like seriously, very carefully, like this rolled, wrapped in tissue paper. And then even the little tape around the tissue paper has her like Roma Apothecary with her little, her name on it and her brand.
Her logo.
And her logo. Thank you. Can't think right now. I was so excited. And so there's oils and there's, it's interesting on her oils. So Mitch works outside all day, right? And so his hands get dry as all like crocodile skin. Well, when I put the oil on it, and I was like, hey, got some new stuff. We're going to try this. We're going to have a beauty night. He was like, oh, God. So I tried him on it. Every man's really excited about that. And so I put it on his skin. It absorbed into his skin, but it did not leave any kind of residue. It was not oily. It was not greasy. It was just moisture. And I was like, what? Yeah. And she had chapstick in there that was, it was like a little green kind of chapstick. And it was really, really nice. And it's, how when you put on some kind of chapstick, it's like, and like everything's sticking to your lips. Yeah, not so much. It felt not like lip gloss, but like really luxurious type of something on your lips. It wasn't like lipstick. It wasn't like lip gloss. It was like something in between. And there's some little cards in there, about all the company and their mission and what they do and all that. It was so lovely packaging. It was really high-end packaging and so much love and care that went into it. I was seriously impressed.
Well, it sounds like it was high-end product too. So, yeah, consistency throughout. We love it.
Yeah. So y'all go check out Romy Apothecary. It was in episode 318, which is when we had her on. So y'all go check that out.
Yeah. We did a bunch of coaching for her. So, yeah. So thanks, Romy.
Absolutely. Thank you. That was awesome. That was very, very cool.
Yeah. I can't wait to get mine. So, okay. So today we're going to talk about becoming a spiritual warrior and giving up the battle. Yeah.
No, I don't want to give up. Why am I giving up a battle?
I am the battle queen.
I am battle queen. I am ready for battle. Yes.
Put it to my haka dance.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I want to do that with the smoke in the air. I start coughing nowadays, but like,
won't sound so intimidating that way.
Yeah. But yes, I'm like, okay, badass spiritual warrior, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to give up
badass warrior.
But yeah.
Spiritual warrior is not badass in that way.
God damn
But
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so why am I giving? Okay, so what's a difference? What's a spiritual warrior, and then what's the battle plan so I can actually win the war? If I have to give up a battle, I want to win the war.
That's the paradigm shift. Okay. These are paradigm shifts that we're dealing with here, right? I mean, it's not about we cling on to these identities, right? And not everybody who listens to this podcast is going to be like, I don't identify as a warrior. I will tell you, I was seriously my warrior. But how do you think I got the last name Sparta, for God's sake? I took it as a last name when I divorced my ex. I was just like, I am Sparta, right? I did. You should have seen the judge when I went before him to not go back to my maiden name, but instead to go to Sparta, which had been a pen name for me in college. You should have seen this guy was like in his 80s and he's looking at me going, are you trying to get away from your creditors? I'm like, no, I pay my bills. What are you talking about? And he's like, why are you changing your name? Are you trying to get away from somebody who's stalking you? No, I don't want to go back to the naive girl I had been when I got married, and I don't want to keep his name because I divorced him for a reason. And so I want to move on and have a new name. And he was just like, I don't understand, but you're not doing any of the things that would keep me from saying yes. So, okay. And he signed it. So, but it was funny. It was really funny. But I was really into my warrior, right? And we there are stages that you go through when you've been in childhood trauma, right? You may hit damsel in distress. You may live there for a while, and that's when you need to go to therapy, because if you're in damsel in distress, you've gone into victim mode, and getting out needs therapy, right? Or you may be in the next layer, which is knight in shining armor, which I also refer to as warrior mode, right?
Dun, dun, dun.
It's knight in shining armor mode. Dun, 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 here I come to save the day. Right? I can't save myself, but I will save you.
Yeah.
Right? That's knight in shining armor mode.
Yes,
I don't know how to save myself, but I can put myself in harm's way for you. Right? Yes.
Yes.
I will take the brunt because that's all I know how to do. Right? Yeah. That's knight in shining armor mode. And you step into a more mature, I think is the right word, version of warrior when you stop looking for the battle. Right? So there's another layer. So the knight in shining armor goes to find the battle. They will invest in people who they don't even know, right? They'll see a stranger getting abused on the street and they'll step in front of the line of fire and be like, I will protect you, right? And that's the knight in shining armor mode. Is like, I'm Dudley Do-Right, I will make it, yeah. And and then the next layer, because they go looking for the fight to prove that they are worthy of, being seen as the savior, the good one, it's about externalizing your value, right? It's about making yourself valuable to others, whether they asked you to or not. And that's part of the challenge of being in the knight in shining armor, is that oftentimes you were not asked and not necessary, right?
But I'm still going to save you from yourself. I don't want to look at myself. Yes.
Yeah. No, that's too hard. Right. and we say this with love because we've been there. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
I was there for many moons.
Yes.
I kept bringing home projects.
I was the queen of I will save you. I stepped in front of things that I should not have stepped in front of many times. And it's just by dumb luck that I didn't get whacked upside the head, sometimes literally. So, but the next layer of that is the grizzled warrior approach, which is, somebody comes, it's the young buck is the knight in shining armor. I want to prove myself. Come on, fight me. Let me prove myself. Right. And then you get to the grizzled warrior stage where they're like, really? Do we really have to do this? Can't we just have a beer and have a conversation? Let's just hang out. Do we really need to do this? And they're like, yes, we really need to do this. And the warrior goes, okay, whack, and goes back to his beard, right? That's the grizzled warrior approach. And as you get older, that is where you tend to go, because you get tired, because you've seen enough battles and you're like, I'm not borrowing other people's shit anymore. But if shit comes on my doorstep, I will whack it, right? It's like, if you make my life miserable enough that whacking you is less painful than not whacking you, then I will whack you. That's the grizzled warrior approach, right? And then that's where you can step from there into spiritual warrior, right? And spiritual warrior. So the reason that the grizzled warrior doesn't rise to the bait is because they know their skill. Okay. They know that they are capable and that they're going to be able to whack the person and be done. They just don't want to, because they remember what it was like to be that person, and they know it hurts when you get hit. And they have compassion for that, right? They're like, oh, come on, why don't you just sit down and let me impart some wisdom instead of imparting some experience, right? You have a choice, wisdom or experience. Please take the wisdom, because it's less effort and less for me and less pain for you, right? That's the grizzled warrior approach. Now, the spiritual warrior it's another level unto that, okay? And the grizzled warrior is still trying to win the battle.
Even though he's trying to do it with the least amount of effort possible.
He's trying to avoid it, but then he knows he'll win it. And you guys have heard me talk about this on the spiritual side of things, which, you got to be the biggest bad in the room, right? If you're going to win a spiritual battle, you've got to be the biggest bad in the room. You got to know that you're the biggest bad in the room. You don't actually have to always do it. Right. In fact, often, if you've done it enough times, you can just say, look me up, and then let's let this go. Right. Just ask through the grapevine and figure out who I am, because you really don't want to go here. And I don't want to deal with you today. If you make me deal with you today, I will make your life either cease to exist or make it very difficult to find all the pieces of yourself. So such that it will take you a millennia to put yourself back together again. So how about we just not? Right.
And just have a beer instead.
Right. Let's just have, yes. Or, tea, whatever, coffee, whatever makes you happy, a flagon of misery and upset, if that's your thing. Right. On the spiritual, that could be the case. Right.
To say, thank you. May I have another?
Yeah. So, when you're stepping into spiritual warrior space, it's almost like you really need to let go of the warrior phrase on this. I mean, it's there, it's an established phrase, but I think it's a misnomer, because you're not really fighting anymore. That's the whole point. You're giving up the battle. You're recognizing that any struggle you're engaged in is with yourself, because everyone around you is a reflection of you, because we are all one. And so you recognize that if somebody's coming at your face, there's something in you that's causing that. And then you're like, oh, what is it in me that's causing that? And you end up in curiosity rather than in defensive mode, or rather than in managing mode where you're trying to keep them from doing what they're doing or whatever, right? And, I have some instances that have been brought to my attention. I think it's because of this episode. It's so funny because I've been sitting here going, why am I having these experiences? Because I've had 3 people come at my face in the last week, and that never happens. Never happens. And I've had 3 people in a week come at my face, and I was like, what is going on? And now I forgot that we were doing this episode today. And I'm like, oh, this is so I have something to talk about. Because I was doing some hard work on that too, man. I was like, what is it that I'm fighting with internally that this is being reflected in me and blah, blah, blah. No, Spirit was just prepping me for the episode. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. And they have a sense of humor.
And they do have a sense of humor. Yes. So, but, I'll give you one example, right? There was a woman at karaoke, and her son came up like 30 minutes before the end of karaoke and was like, I want to sing. And it's the first time he said anything all night, been there all night, didn't say a freaking word. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I've already given away all the rest of the slots for the night. And she came up because one of the people who went up was the people who are there, my regulars, right? And she started like, I have a complaint. I'm like, okay. And she's like, you should let new people saying, these are the people that I come here every week, and these are the people I see over and over and over again, blah, blah, blah. And I started to try and explain to her how the system worked. I said, look, if he had contacted me 20 minutes ago, I would have been able to get him in, no problem. But I've already given away the slots. People came to me and asked, and I said yes, and I'm now full. I'm like, I can't fix that short of putting him in and bumping somebody else I've already said yes to, and I'm not going to do that. And she wouldn't let me finish my sentences. She was so intent on yelling at me. She just wanted to vent at me. So, this became the thing. And I'm like, what is your desired outcome on this conversation? Well, I just think you need to know. I'm like, oh, so you want to tell me how to run my work? You want to tell me how to do what I do? Well, no, but I'm like, nope, that's exactly what you want to do, because, that's what you're doing. And you're not actually trying to accomplish anything. So what you want to do is tell me what I'm doing wrong and abuse me. And I'm not available for that. Right. And she's like, oh, but that's, I'm like, yeah, it really is what you're doing. She's like, well, I'm never coming back. I said, well, if this is how you behave, I think that's probably wise. And she was just like, she's like, I'm friends with the owner. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, I'm friends with the owner too. How do you think I got the gig? I was like, the owner's going to look at you and say, were you abusive to her? Then you need to go, right? That's just the nature of the beast.
Now she's trying to tell you how important that she is and intimidate you because she's friends with the owner. And
she doesn't know that this is what I do for fun, not for work. I'm like, this is my entertainment. This is not, I don't need this job, right? It's not even a job. I just I don't need this. I can do something else with my time. This is not required of me. So you've got nothing to hold over me, right? And this is the thing. This is the piece, right? You've got nothing to hold over me. And even if there's a perception that somebody has something to hold over you, in your spiritual self, they never have anything, right? Oh, they could make me lose my job. Okay, well, you'll get another one. The universe will take care of you. Oh, they could interfere with my relationship with my partner. Okay, well, if your partner will allow that to happen, then they're probably not the right person for you.
That would be correct.
Right. And you'll find another one, right? When you're in a state of balance, when you're in a state of internal safety, no threat that happens on the outside really matters. And if you have any questions about this, you should read Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. He was a prisoner in I think it was Auschwitz during the Holocaust. And so, he wrote this beautiful story about what it was like to own yourself in that sort of scenario. And that's kind of the worst case scenario that I can really think of. So if you can own yourself in that space, you can own yourself anywhere, right? So this is about bringing yourself to a place where you are okay no matter what. And so if something comes at your face, you don't have to pound it into the dust. You can just look at the person and go, I'm not available for this. Right. And just be like, nope, don't need to do this. Thank you. I'm out. Right. Don't need to have this conversation. And not I'm out like I'm running away. It's I'm opting out of this communication. Right. Like I'm not available for this.
Well, and that kind of goes in with the boundary that you had set. I'm assuming, because you didn't tell me, but I doubt you have a boundary that would allow or have an allowance of people coming up and just, smack talking you in the face. To me, that would be like a boundary going, no, you're not going to verbally abuse me kind of thing, right?
And that's usually what they get is no. And then because they'll come at my face and go, and then I am like, no. And it usually just like really takes them aback because I don't say anything else. I'm just like, no. And they just, you can see that they're visibly shaken because I do a little push of energy with it. I'm like, you're trying to invade my field. No, I'm reinforcing. I'm not pushing you, but I'm hitting the edge of my boundary that you've already crossed and shoving you back to where the end of my boundary is. I'm not coming into yours. I'm not being aggressive. I'm just saying, out. Right. And so that is I'm just keeping myself solid and I'm not allowing them to infringe upon that. It's like, no, you will not verbally abuse me. You will not physically abuse me. You will not sexually abuse me. You will not abuse me, period. This is not happening. And it's like, I give no permission for this. Right. So it's a solid boundary. It's not a push boundary. It's just a boundary. It's a thunk it into the ground. Nothing freaking moves this thing boundary, right? Now, that's the external side. Let's talk about the internal side, because this is where things get complicated, right? So I recently was doing, so like this morning, yay, my guides use these episodes to really work with me. But I recently was working with a piece of work in my money field. And I'm actually in conversation with a money coach about potentially doing a joint retreat together here in Panama. And as part of the conversation, somewhere along the line, she asked me a question that I can't remember now, but it caused me to stop and look at my money stuff because, it's opened up a lot from where it used to be, but it's not as open as I would like, right? And I was like, well, but I've done all this work and I cleared a bunch of stuff and I brought in a bunch of business and all was good. And then I was like, what's going on? And so I went and I looked and I realized, so in my youth, in my 30s, I was very attached to the idea of doing it myself, figuring it out myself, making the business go myself. So I got all the credit, right? I wasn't good at asking for help. I wanted the credit for figuring it out because I am smart and I will make it go. For all my Star Trek fans out there, you're welcome. And I just quoted Star Trek. and I was attached to making it go. I was attached to getting the credit. I was attached to being able to say, this is
like getting that outside validation.
Well, it's outside validation, but it's also inside validation, right? It was about being able to say that I was smart enough to figure it out. I worked hard enough to make it go. It feels like a lot of it was in relation to my dad saying that I had no discipline and that I was going to be a loser and all these other things, right? So it was very much about proving him wrong, right? But that worked so well in my first marriage when I proved him wrong after I knew it was a nightmare 6 months in, and I stayed in for another 6.5 years. But anyway, yeah, that was not wise. Anyway, Don't prove your parents wrong. Just live your freaking life. That's all I can tell you. Okay. So, but I was in my 30s. I was very attached to proving him wrong. And so it sat there in my field, right? And I am very smart and I do figure things out and I do make things go. And, I am the queen of, organization and structure and, innovation and blah, 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 right? I'm good at all this stuff.
You're transformational shaman. Hello.
But it's a limitation. It's a limitation because what I'm doing is I'm controlling it. I have to figure it out, right? I've got to make it go. I've got to know the path. What is it we say about manifestation? We provide the destination and the motivation. The universe provides the navigation. What is figure it out about? It's about navigation, right? It's me doing the universe's job and then being frustrated when it's not taking care of me. It's like
in the way you want, on the time frame you want, in the manner you want, to the degree that you want, with a cherry on top.
Nothing like a little more control. Yeah. There's a little more control, right? Yeah, it's all good. And so this morning, when I looked, I was like, oh my God, that is still sitting in my energy field. It's still sitting there. I haven't really actively engaged it in years, but it's there in my field and I never actually let go. And so I went to let go this morning and I literally had to use one hand to pry the other hand open to let it go because it was so clenched so hard that it wouldn't let go on the energetic.
I'm picturing this in my head. You standing there going, open, damn you, open.
Yep, that's what it was.
I'm a spiritual warrior, but I'm still going to pry your ass open.
That's a spiritual warrior's job, is to do the work on yourself. Right?
There you go. Yes.
That's it. So, yeah, I had that like clenched hard in my fist. Mine, I will make it go. I will figure it out. And I wouldn't ask for help. Right? Because I was going to figure it out and I didn't want anybody to know. I didn't know what I was doing. It's like everybody doesn't know what they're doing. That's the secret of life. I will tell you the secret of life. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing ever. They're just making it up as they go along. Like even those of us with lots of experience, every situation is different. I got lots of experience, but this situation is different than the 50 I've done before. So, I could be wrong. I was making it up as I go along with my knowledge of the past and, what I'm assessing about the moment. And it's still making it up as you go along. It's informed making it up, but I'm making it up. Everybody makes it up as they go along. Don't think that anybody doesn't.
That reminds me of the old joke, hire a teenager while they still know it all. But
And that brings me to my next comment. Thank you for the segue.
God.
You don't even know that you made it. That's
I have no clue.
My next statement is that our guides are there to help us, right? And I've said this before in the spirit guide conversations, but I'm going to say it again because it bears repeating because people forget. But your guides are not your parents telling you what to do. And we often treat them that way. We're like, I don't want to do that. You don't make me do that. I'm not doing that. Right? We act like they're our parents. And they're not. They're our partners. They are our support staff. We're doing the hard job of being on the planet, and they are the support staff trying to help us. And we are acting like spiritual teenagers when we go, I know better than you do, and I'm going to do this. And just like a spiritual teenager, just like a real teenager doesn't have a fully formed prefrontal cortex, we don't have a fully formed psychic connection to the all that is. And so, we rely on our parents when we're teenagers. Well, we rely on our guides when we're in this space. If we're smart, if we're not smart, then we just, ignore them and bump into walls and get clue-by-4s to the forehead. And that's just how that works because, we got nothing better to do. Right. So all of this. Right. So if you're in the place where you're like FUing your guides, which I did many times, so I have a lot of compassion for it. Stop it. They're just trying to help you. Just do what they tell you. Life is easier. It really is. Life is easier if you just follow the instructions. But, for those of us who refuse to read instructions, yeah, you can figure it out. You can be stuck with a fist full of I'll figure it out 20 years from now and be sitting there trying to pry your own damn fist open like I did. Or you can listen to me now and just stop trying to figure it out and let them tell you. All of this.
So let me ask a question because I'm dying to ask this. So one, I've never told my spiritual team, fuck y'all. So because I'm afraid they'll be like, really, bitch? Let me show you what that means. And I'm like, no. So when you tell them that, as you have, and I'm sure there's more people that do that. How do you rebound from that? Do you go, oh, just kidding, sorry, they
don't care.
So they don't attach like the human. They don't do the human emotion like we do, right?
No, I mean it's.
Do they ever get pissed off?
I mean, think about it. No, I've never had guides get pissed off at me.
Okay,
and I've done some shit, man. I've done some shit. Yeah, they don't get pissed off. Now, they will get insistent, there's a difference. But, I've had clients look at me and say, fuck you. And I'm like, and the horse I rode in on, I understand. It's okay. I love you no matter what. You can tell me to go fuck myself. And I'm okay with that, right? That your guides are kind of like that, right? They understand why you're saying it. They understand where it's coming from, and they're like, yeah, all right, we'll wait. We'll be patient. And we'll send you another sign, which might be a little more insistent, right?
So I found this on Instagram. I'm looking for it now in case you're wondering what the hell I'm doing. So, and wait. I sent it to Jen. I didn't send it to Victoria. Wait. Let me put it. And it was the best thing ever because it was like you're seeing this crystal ball with all of it was supposed to be like the spiritual guides around it. And they're like, okay.
Oh, I think I've seen this one.
Yeah. It's like, okay, we've sent her 2 messages. We've sent her 3 favorite songs, whatever it is, all this stuff. Dude, how much you want to bet she does the exact opposite? And one of them's like, I'll take $5 bet on that. It's like, how much you bet that she's going to do the exact opposite?
Yeah. Pretty much. That is so very true. Yes.
They have to have a drinking game up there on this stuff.
If they had alcohol, they would. Yes.
Yes.
There's like, okay, let's see what happens. Let's just roll the dice.
Yeah. Hey, y'all, you ain't going to believe the shit she's doing right now. Y'all come see this.
That's right. Yeah. Here, have some popcorn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And see, like mine, they know, I mean, hello, have you met me? I'm pig-headed. So
no, really?
No, really? Control freak much? So did I tell you about me trying to buy years of service? About what a sense of humor that the universe has? I didn't tell you this. Okay. So I work
of service?
Yeah. So I work for the state of Louisiana as a civil servant, state employee. Instead of working say I want to retire 25 years, right? And then I want to buy some years so I can actually get credit for those years, but not physically work those years. All right. So retire early, but with full benefits. Right. All right. So I'm not going to give the real numbers, but because then, but let's just say, okay, I wanted to buy 3 years and I have no clue how much the stuff cost. I have no clue. So I'm like, okay, cool. Got some money set aside, whatever. And all right. So, and I send in my stuff. Hey, pay the little $150 to the actuarial dude, chick, lady, whatever, and get my stuff back. And for those 3 years, it's only going to cost you $120,000. And I went, and I'm like, what is that in pesos? In dollars? What is that pennies? What are you smoking? And I'm going, y'all are missing a decimal point. You put it in the wrong place. So I was so pissed off. Then I'm like, okay. And I'm venting. I'm like, God bless them. Blah, blah, blah. Next morning, I'm like, oh, Oh, crap. Now I know what this is. The universe had to make that number so ridiculously high and ridiculously ridiculous because otherwise I would have tried to figure out a way to make it work. And I'm like, son of a gun, that's what y'all do. I'm like, okay, you good. I got to admit, y'all are good. Y'all, this is a way of y'all telling me, hold up, something, a different little path is coming up that's going to be better, right? I have no clue what that is, but they're not going to lead me down a wrong path. They're going to give me what I want or better. And so this is just their way of telling me, hold on to your money. So had I been, oh no, I'm fighting with you, I'm going to figure this out. Been the young buck going to go fight them and everything. Or I guess even in that sense, the old grizzly one going, can't I don't want to fight. Can't you just give it to me and make it work? But they know better.
Really?
Yeah, really. So, and they had to do that because they know how hard-headed I am. Because I have been where, and I'm still where you are. I can make this happen.
Here's my invitation for you and for anybody else who's listening who's resonating with this. What if you took hard-headed out of your self-definition?
What do I replace it with?
That was so cute. Oh my God, that was adorable.
that was the inner child going, well, what do I use there? Because headstrong is another one, but it means the same thing.
Yes. What if you replaced it with, I live a charmed life. Everything works out for me. The universe is always on my side.
Oh, I know that. Yes. Okay. I live a charmed life. Universe always has my back. It's going to work out.
Yeah.
I think that's still would that be my ego still kicking in there?
The figure it out thing is an ego thing. It's a way of proving your worth, right? That was the other piece for me about the business is that I wouldn't deserve the money if I hadn't figured it out myself, right? That's another piece.
Ooh, I just felt that resonating everywhere. Okay.
Right. And what if and we've talked about deserving, right? We've talked about deserving being imaginary. There's no such thing as deserving because we are all everything and everything is all us. Therefore, we have everything and we are everything. What is there to deserve, right? There's nothing to deserve because we are. You are or you are not. There is no deserving. That's not relevant, rather. Okay. So, but it's in there, right? It's like if I didn't work for it, if I didn't figure it out, then I don't deserve it. Well, who cares? It's all mine anyway. It's all yours anyway. Might as well take it, right? If it lands on your doorstep, at your feet, in your lap, take it.
Pick it up.
Yes. Yes, please have some. Yes, have some. More,
yes,
please.
Indeed. Yes.
Thank you, universe. More, please.
Exactly.
Right? Still seeing my friend Melody going, wish for something else. Wish for something else. Every time the manifestation happens, right? Wish for something else. It's clearly working. Let's go. Right?
Yes, indeed. I love it.
But this is the thing, right? As if you're trying to control it, if you're trying to figure it out, if you're trying to be worthy of it, if you're trying to be like, I want credit and validation for it. All of these things are just blocks to having it. You got to give up the battle. You got to stop trying to win and let the universe take you over the finish line.
So stop fighting the universe.
Stop fighting the universe.
There you go.
Stop fighting yourself. You are the universe. You are the universe, and the universe is you. We are all one. Yes, have some. That's my Kellyism for the day. Yes, have some.
So Rose, I hope I don't kill your name. It's spelled Color, so I'm gonna say Rose Color. She suggested this topic. So Rose, honey, this is all for you.
There you go. Thank you for the suggestion. And so if you are out there listening and you have a topic you would like us to cover, please send it in to Kelle at kellesparta.com and we will make sure that it gets on the podcast. Now, we do schedule these episodes several months in advance, so it may not be immediate, but it will get on the podcast.
Yeah, and she suggests this. I believe she submitted through the Spirit Sherpa chat group. Is
I
how
think
she did it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so
I post when I'm about to do the next 9 months worth of scheduling. I post in the group and go, help. Because we're over 5 years in at this point, and so topics are always a thing to come up with. That's the hardest part of doing these episodes is coming up with the topics. To be honest, because 5 years in, we've talked about a lot of stuff.
But it's cool, I think, when the listeners and all they contribute, because it's like a collective of brains working together, and it's. And I know you do this for the community, the collective. And so it's like, what do y'all want to hear about? So that's very cool.
Well, and oftentimes you'll ask me questions about things I don't know anything about, and I have to go research them, and then I learn something, right? I get questions from things people are like, well, what about this? I'm like, never heard of it. Let me go figure it out. Let me go read about what it is. And, oh, okay, that's a different name for this, or, oh, that's this. Me really dig in and, oh yeah, okay, energetically that's this, which is half a turn from that. Okay, we can talk about these things, right? Yeah. So I learn when you guys ask me questions too, so thank you for that. And so here's the deal, guys. We do a lot of classes in this, and if you want to find out what the latest classes are, then get on the mailing list. You can do that by either downloading the free download on the homepage of the website, which is called Boundaries for Empaths. And if you haven't downloaded that and actually done it, downloading it doesn't actually do anything for you. You have to actually open it and do it. But that puts you on the mailing list too, and it'll change your life if you do that. If you do that exercise. And signing up for discovery calls so that you can find out what class might be best for you. That would get you on the mailing list. It would also get you a conversation with me. Please be clear that the conversation is not a random chat. It is a conversation about what's going to be the right program for you. The other way to get on the mailing list is to take the quiz at the top of the homepage, or it's the top of most of the pages of the website, which is the what is your shadow work readiness score quiz, and that will both get you on the mailing list and tell you which program is right for you. So in terms of the spiritual growth programs, if you're looking at being a spiritual entrepreneur and you want to learn how to coach others, we are certifying people in the Welcome to the Woo program. We are certifying coaches and providing a business in a box for that scenario. So you can come in, I'll teach you how to coach, I will teach you how to market, I will teach you how to sell, and then I will provide all the back end. You don't have to build a website, you don't have to get a merchant account, you don't have to do any onboarding, you don't have to have a lawyer draw up a contract for you, you don't have to do any customer service. We do all of that for you. And all you have to do is market, sell, and deliver on your programs. And I also even certify you in how to do the energy scans that I do. And so if you've always been like, woo, energy scan, the energy scan tells you where you are in your evolution and what the blocks are between you and the next step of your evolution. I'm actually about to get an energy scan from one of my students in about 20 minutes right now, because she's on her final exam for that. And so the final exam is to do an energy scan on me. And so I'm excited to hear what she has to say. No pressure, And so, but you learn how to do all of these things, and you learn how to make money while you're doing your marketing at the same time. And so, the first student through the program has already closed his first deal. And he's, we just launched, and he said that he is making 2,500% more than he made before he started the program. And that was before he closed his first deal. So on the program. So yeah, all good things, right? So if you're interested in being a spiritual coach, check it out. It's on the homepage of the website in the online programs. In the spiritual practitioners area, you'll find it there. And you can sign up for a discovery call and I'll talk to you about it. Okay. So all of these things, babies, all of them are ways for you to come and enjoy, come and be part of the conversation. Right. Yeah.
Welcome to the
Yes.
woo, people.
So-
Welcome to the woo.
Welcome to the woo. That's it. Yes. Okay. And so, yeah, I think yes, have some will be my Kellyism for the day. I'm going to just leave it at that. I'm not going to do a different one.
No, that'll work.
So please like, rate, subscribe so that you can help us get known. If you want to be kind to us, you can tell all your friends about us, or, tell your local metaphysical store about us so that they'll start sharing it too. That would be lovely. Thank you for your support. If you've gotten stuff from this and you want to give back, that would be a great way to do it. Okay.
All right. Well, that's all that we have for this week, folks. Tune in next time when Kelle adds another chapter into your guide to energy, magic, and the spirit world. I'm Jules, here with Kelle Sparta, and you have been listening to Spirit Sherpa. So long, y'all.
Bye.
Resting place. Driving down the road, eyes on the horizon. Within my car, I'm all alone, but feeling good and feeling strong, knowing that this path I'm on brings me to myself. I'm driving